Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, on this forum that we're having here today, put on by the Native Vote, excuse me. Anyway, I'd like to thank all the candidates that are here, show up for this online forum, and the three that couldn't make it, but they are online elsewhere. That is Sam Penney, James Spencer, and Sherry Greene. And we have one that's on his way. So we'll get on the way here. Anyway, once again, I'd like to say thank you for everybody that's joining the event online, and we will get some questions going here. But first, we'll have some. So I'd like to get started with that. And first is seat 1, Ryan Oatman.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Oatman. I'm a member of the Nez Perce tribe. I'm a direct descendant of Old Chief Looking Glass. My parents are Paula Moody and Kenneth Oatman, Adrian Moody, and my grandparents are Ron and Lois Oatman, and the late Jerry Walker, and the late Lotus Oatman. And my education, I have a bachelor's in social work from LCSE. I have a master's in social work from Boise State University. I worked for the tribe for 21 years in various departments. So we've got fisheries, the Head Start, Students for Success, social services for 11 years, the executive direction office, and I now work for Holt as the patient advocate. And what I stand for is I've worked a lot with youth over the years and young adults. I've done prevention activities with youth, specifically the teen nights, and during the pandemic, I've helped out with the COVID relief with the Bisbee family. Micah Bisbee was in charge of that. So that was, a really big learning process for all of us. And I'm just thankful for all that came through. And my prayers are with the families that have lost people to COVID. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Next up on seat 2, or seat 1, excuse me, Mary Jane Miles.
Hello. I want to thank the family that puts these forms for those out there listening and those here that are vying for seats on NPTEC, and I want to thank everyone that's involved in this process. I like this process of how we govern ourselves. I think it's a fair process as can be. I am interested, of course, in age discrimination, being as my age is advanced, as you can see. I have witnessed throughout the years some of the firings that have happened and almost ruined lives. So I would, even as my bid for running would be part of that I am vying for. I would also want to see a lot of the services for the elders instituted, especially the nursing home, and then everything that goes around the nursing home, respite care, hospice care. Also, I admire all the spirituality that we have that comes together, and I think that that's a real plus for our culture, and so I would work all towards that too. I'm also an advocate for higher education, and I would appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary Jane. Okay, up on seat 2, Ferris Paisano, incumbent.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who's help put this together. And also, before I introduce myself, I'd like to thank all previous NPTEC members and their families for their service and time off. And we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for the previous NPTEC members. Like I said, my name is Ferris Paisano. My parents are Ferris and Francis Paisano. Grandparents, Dan and Rachel Arthur. Great-grandparents is Mark and Mary Arthur. And a descendant of Whitebird. I would just like to say the word Ninipu. And when we say Ninipu, it's inclusive. Sometimes we get caught up in the world, and that is not inclusive. Traditional, non-traditional, upriver, downriver, Catholic, Presbyterian, Baha'i. We're all Ninipu, and so I want you to remember that. Everybody here wants to fight, and so as they come up, you'll see their commitment and dedication for their willingness to serve. Piccialio.
Thank you. Up next on C2, Sherry Greene.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Sherry Greene. I am the daughter of Loretta Half Moon and Loretta and Ron Half Moon, and the late Ipsis New Pocket, also known as Jess Greene. I just want to question, I'm not certain if you're hearing me. Can Dallin wave? Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me. So again, my name is Sherry Greene. I'm running for seat 2 for the NPTEC. I'm highly motivated to be of service to the tribal members and dedicated to the Nez Perce tribe and helping both to reach their fullest potential in future. Since moving home, I've served on Enterprise Board and on the Fish and Wildlife Commission, and in both capacities, I've gained insight and understand the needs of the people. The economic stability of the tribe is paramount, which equates to providing services for the tribal members at large. So again, as a fisher, I have decades of years of experience having exercised my treaty right on the Columbia River with my family. And I do understand the protection of the natural resources are critical to tribal sovereignty. I work within the Nez Perce tribal in various capacities that has provided great data for decision making. And I've also been elected to national fellowships, which has really helped me build my experiences and my knowledge within the national platforms of the tribe itself.
And up next, Mary Tolbo.
Thank you, Don. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My parents are Allman and Ernestine Hayes Slicktu. Grandparents are Sam and Rena Slicktu and Bessie Joshua and Edward Hayes and Mary Hayes. I have 6 children. I have a long lifetime of working with youth children, including being a foster parent from the state of Idaho and the Nez Perce Tribe for over 15 years. I used to work at the Wilderness Community Center for almost 20 years, and at that time I took the opportunity in working with youth and their families. And I believe that we've got a lot of good programs to our youth. And I'm sorry to say, but I haven't seen very much of that happening anymore. Reservation-wide, right now we have a need for a mentorship for teens. I'd like to address the drug problem. I think we need to help people who come back from treatment. We need to bring people into a place where they can be happy and be some member of society. I guess my time is up. When we have another forum, I'd like to have a little more time. Thank you.
Down, can you tell them that the first one's 30 seconds, the second one's 10, and then I'll do the third one this time.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, just on this, you get your time limit. You watch the, here, hold up how much time you have, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and so on. So those of you online that aren't here, I will make a sign when you get your warrant, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Okay, that being said, okay, seat 2, Erik Holt.
Hey, Garcia, Tatsalak, the West. Yum Tomaluk, next grizzly bear in line, aka Erik Holt. My parents are Virgil and Sandy Holt, Sr. I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. First of all, I'd like to pay my respects to all those in mourning due to COVID and other illnesses. I wish all of you well, and then I represent a lot of folks, and you humbly ask for your people that have strong voices, for our treaty and for those resources that can't speak for themselves. I have a long time leadership position as chairman of our Fish and Wildlife Commission, which is a strong advocates for those relatives that can't speak for themselves. And I come to you today not only with knowledge and experience, but with a strong work ethic. I have many years of tribal policy, public policy and procedures, and have real-time opportunities in front of us. And I want to be there and be that voice for the Nez Perce people as we move forward. So, Katsiaya.
Okay, thank you, Erik. Moving up next on seat 2, Samuel Penney. See out there?
I'm not sure that he's going to be able to, he's having some video and audio issues.
Okay, Sam is not here. He's trying to go online. He's having some issues with his audio. Okay, so we'll move to seat 2, Tonia Garcia.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Tonia Garcia, and I'm running for seat 2. I'm running, my name is Tonia Garcia. My mother is Mary Jane Garner, and I have a big family. And you always think about the future for your grandchildren and your children. And I would like to, when we first started gaming, I would have liked to see a lot more funds in the children's accounts. And I think that we need to plan for the future and make wise decisions now. And one of the issues I see, is general counsel should take more of the lead in saying what our priorities are. And my priority is just to increase the wealth of the tribe for the future, and to have programs that really work for the people. And I thank you for this time, and thank you, Dallin, for providing this opportunity. It's new, and it's, COVID has done a lot for us, but we'll survive. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tonia. And up next on seat 2, just strolled in, I believe. is Louis Harris. Introduction time.
Hi, my name is Louis Ferris. I am a candidate for seat 2 on the NSPRS Travel Executive Committee. This is my 3rd year running. I was a little bit late this morning. My apologies. My phone died on me, and my watch was obviously not set. There are some things that I like I have listed out on my platform, and it is usually has to do with like our healthcare and taking care of our elders. I'm sorry, I really got to use the restroom too. Let's see. My grandparents are Frida Ellenwood, the late Rick Ellenwood of Frida Ellenwood Hayes, and the late Rick Ellenwood. My parents are Carlos Harris and Molly Rose Klein Harris. I have one brother and one sister. I have a spouse. I have 4 kids. Yaka Sitskinet is my youngest. Republican is the 2nd youngest. Michael is my oldest. He's my boy. And JC Harris, she's my daughter. And so I'd like to thank you for your time. I apologize for being late. And I wish the best of luck to all candidates, and thank everybody for showing up. All right, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Louis Harris. Okay, so moving on to seat 3. Shirley Allman, incumbent.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shirley Allman. I've lived in Clear Creek, Coos Idaho my entire life. I have 6 children. I have about 10 years plus working for the NSPRS tribe in the government stage with the general counsel. I've been election judge, resolutions committee, secretary. And being on that committee, you learn a lot about what's and how to deal with the NPTEC, what the concerns are from the people. And I believe that we really need to take into consideration the topics that come up year after year. My mother is Georgia May Ellenwood. Her mother was Bertha Webb Stevens. Her mother was Dorcas Harrison Miller. My father is William Allman. His mother is Marie Hannah Arthur. His father is William Anderson Allman. And we're from the Whitebird Band. Again, I just am running for NPTEC to help the people's concerns and suggestions get noticed. I know there's a lot of smart, educated NSPRSs that we're overlooking that I feel that could be a good assets to our tribe for our future. And again, I just ask for your support on seat 3, Shirley J. Allman. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. Okay, up next on seat 3, Sheldon Allen.
Thank you, Don. Thank you very much. Sheldon Allen, and I am running for seat number 3. I come from the Cottonwood Creek area of Cul-de-sac, Idaho. My folks are Clifford and Sylvia Allen. I've been on the reservation for a great number of years. I was born and raised in the area. The number of issues that come to my mind as I pursue this council position is in no certain order, no particular order, is the elders program, the veterans program, the Indian Health Services. Those are one of the 3 main issues. Then also education. I believe that is a number one, is an issue that should be on everybody's brain. With the elders program, I'm concerned about the retirement home for the elders, the programs that govern the elders program and the services that they're provided. I feel that they're woefully short within that regard. So if elected to seat number 3, I would like to change that and try to modify that into something more cohesive. As for the vets program, I believe that as veterans, Marine in my own right, that the veterans should have more of a respected position within the tribe. I see that that is, again, woefully short. I will address that in my position as seat number 3 candidate. And Indian Health Services, choices and options would always be a nice thing to have. And again, with education, I think that's something that we should try to better and improve upon the reservation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sheldon. Okay, next up on seat 3, he's online, correct?
Yes.
James Spencer. And once again, Spencer, look to me for the signal for the time limits.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank the Native Vote for this opportunity and putting this together. I'm James Spencer. My grandparents are Sam and Lucy Hayes, Lucy Allen Hayes, and Herschel and Celia Spencer. And I'm seeking a position on seat 3 for NPTEC. I've been fortunate to be a part of a team that was destined to do great things, and I've also been in organizations where I've seen great teams torn down by negative outside influences. Within our tribe, I would like to bring that team effort back for the benefit of all members. I would like to see job creation, fiscal responsibility, and transparency and ethics in government. Open lines of communication will be key into moving the Nez Perce tribe into the future. I would like to see programs utilized from the use of our lands. We are sitting in a position where we can really move into the future. So I'll ask for your support for position on seat 3.
Okay, thank you, James. Up next on seat 3, Chantel Greene.
Good afternoon. My name is Chantel Greene. I am currently running for seat 3. However, my platform that I was going to be running on is renewable energy development and sustainability, planning department development, healthcare, and overall well-being. With that said, I know a lot of folks have questions. Me sitting in as the vice chairman previously, and now transitioning out into the Department of Natural Resources planner, which is where I'm at now. I felt very strongly that I needed to take time to myself. I'm speaking from pain and experience of loss. I've also recently just gone through a divorce, and I feel like it's every person's right to advocate for overall health and well-being, from your mental to your physical, and entrenching that into your life so that you can take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So I needed to take the time to myself. And with that said, I'm an individual who also likes to achieve getting past and looking towards goals and not being held back by obstacles. So looking to the future, really enjoying what I'm doing currently, and I feel like the advocacy for my strengths and abilities right now are to move forward with the planning department. And with that, I would also like to say I will not be asking for anybody's vote, and I will stay in my current position as the planning, natural resources planning department. And thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Chantel. Okay, that seems to round up our introductions of the candidates. It's very informative. I'm glad they got up here and gave a short information on their themselves and their candidacy. And we'll start with the question part of the forum now. And we have question 1, seat 1, Ryan Oatman. Pick up Heather.
Favorite number 33.
Okay, so I have question 19. Can you admit when you are wrong and be open-minded to criticism? Even when it's personal attacks to your family, please explain, because it does happen. I can most definitely admit when I'm wrong. There's times where I am wrong and times where, like at iVision, I work with the staff of 7, and there's a lot of times where the advocates or my data person would have me look at things in a different view, besides my own. So I was able to work with them on what their views are to make our program deliverables better for our youth and our young adults. I also had an awesome supervisor in social services, and she helped me, guide me with implementing the iVision program, because it was new, to our area, our state, the Pacific Northwest. So it was a lot of learning curves and getting the implementation of our program out to the next organization. Also with family, I had a brother on NPTEC for a couple of terms, and there's a lot of times where I had to bite my tongue, and then I had to listen to tribal members and what they're saying, to understand their views. So I'm always open-minded and open to be corrected. I was raised by a lot of women in my family, so I was always corrected since I was a young boy up until now. I'm 45 now, so with that, yes, I'm open to be criticism and looking at things and other people's views. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Okay, next up on seat 1 is Mary G. Miles.
Okay. Question number 7.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, she drew number 7. 8.
Well, she doesn't understand that the question's not what's on there. She has to answer the question on the feather.
Okay. Okay, here we go. If elected, would you accept the responsibility of all prior NPTEC actions as your own, even if you disagree with them?
That is number 8.
Yeah, you need to answer the question on the feather. The feathers do not match the questions on your paper. They're random questions.
When I first ran for NPTEC, I was told by some of the elders there that it is the Kuyitswa. It's all 9 of you, and you work together as a team, even though you disagree at reaching that point. I work with the NPTEC. When we don't work as a team and go out on our own, then we leave the others in the dark, and they don't know what is transpiring for the good of the tribe, and we all need to keep the tribe, of course, as our uppermost thought. I would take accept the responsibility of the action of the table as it goes, because it's a good action. The Robert's Rules controls our discussion time, and we can usually reach something after we have a good discussion on it, the pros and cons. So yes, I'm proud to be on the Koyetswa, and I think that it's a good form of government, and I wouldn't want to have it replaced by anything else. As well as general counsel, we have parliamentarian rules that are sometimes getting us in bewilderment, but at least we come out with a consensus of the people of the tribe. So thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Mary Jane. As brief explanation of candidates, questions numbers 1 through 70. So they're going over there drawing a feather with a question on the back of it, and I will in turn read it for them. So, okay, up next, seat 2, Ferris Paisano. Okay. Okay, do you believe that there may be discrimination against non-natives or non-nest persons in tribal government? If so, how do you address this issue? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. I believe that there is discrimination. I don't know if it's willful, but in some cases it may be willful. Against non-native, excuse me, I read this wrong. I think that because we have been discriminated in our schooling, in our college, probably even more so with the older generation and the newer generation, but it's still there. I think the way you address discrimination is by conversation, acknowledging each other's existence, validating them as human beings, valuing each other as human beings, that we're doing the best we can with what we have, and if we could do better, we have. A lot of times I felt discriminated against, but because historically it was imagined. Here we go again, it's imagined, and it wasn't real. And I find out later that this person really wasn't discriminating against me, that they were good people. So discrimination can be real or imagined. Thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you, Ferris. And up next, we have seat 1, question 1, Louis Harris. Yep. Oh, seat. Sorry.
You don't need to wear a mask on the podium.
Sorry about that. Correct. Seat 2.
The questions on the back. Okay. That's what you should announce to the candidates, that the numbers don't correspond.
Yes, once again, the question is the numbers on the sheet that you got do not correspond with the numbers of the feathers. So it's a way to kind of clean up a little bit.
28.
Okay.
Questions on back of the feather, Louis.
Have you ever been involved or witnessed a physical altercation in the workplace? And how should the incident be handled?
Yes, sir. Hello again. Question, have I ever been involved in or witnessed physical altercation in the workplace? And I think it should be handled accordingly to however the supervisor or manager, proceeds it. It depends on how far it goes. If it's something like if it's at the National Travel Executive Committee table, then obviously, there's probably something that needs to be changed at the table. If it's something to do with like construction workers, every workplace is different. I haven't been involved in any physical altercations in any of my previous work history. I've been in conflicts to where I have gotten into an argument. I think people would be physical, and the way it should be handled is de-escalation is huge. Talk to people, talk nice to people, talk to people, encourage people. Say you're sorry. Don't let your pride carry you too far. Your pride is what keeps you strong, and never lose your sense of humor. And so that's all I have. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the questions. Sure.
Okay, thank you, Harris. Okay, seat 2 online, Sherry Greene. Pick a number between 1 and 70.
Okay, Sherry, what number would you like to select?
Number 11.
Here's your question.
Okay, here we go. Do you believe that the right people get elected yearly? And if not, why not? And what can be done to fix this?
Can you repeat that again?
People get
Hold on,
elected.
Start over.
Give her the number on her
Can he
Okay,
repeat
here
that
we go.
again?
Do you believe that the right people get elected yearly? And if not, why? And what can be changed to fix this?
Okay, I think a lot of times we've had, personally, I do believe that there should be, we should be able to select our leaders for the seat, for the position, for the chairman, for the vice chairman, all of those things. But I also believe that there are times when we need to set a standard as far as how many terms elected officials can be on the NPTEC. If you look at the national level, we also have those elected officials being there for a certain amount of terms. And I know that people go to the old standard of, well, we have chiefs, and chiefs were chiefs for a very long period of time. However, if we were going to look at it from that perspective, then maybe we should reconsider how we're doing that and moving into districts. I think it helps when people come in with fresher perspective. They're changing. This is a changing period of time, and we're progressing forward. We have to have forward thinkers in order to be progressive with the tribe and going in the direction that we need to be able to move our tribe forward. I think that we also need to look at, based upon, all the different experiences that they've had for each candidate as well. Again, I do think that there should be term limits. I think it should be based upon their work, and that perspective is important.
Time's expired. Anyway, thank you for the answering the question. Okay, up next, seat 2, Mary Talbot. Okay, do you exaggerate problems to create problems, or do you problem solve? Please explain.
As a longtime member of the general council position, I served as amendments committee and also as the resolutions committee for probably 40+ years. And of course, I heard a lot of complaints and concerns from the tribal members. And what we've done is that we've tried to get together and talk it over with the people and see what they think what needs to be done. And we try not to exaggerate. We let the people come in, and sometimes they have some real harsh concerns and allegations, and we do have to kind of tone it down for them. And there's sometimes as the resolutions committee, we do accept it and we will take it forward. But in most situations, we try to get it settled there. As an officer, I would call the program for concern about a program. We talk to the program managers and see if it could be taken care of right there instead of going any further and make proper decision and corrections on whatever the problem was. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, up next we have Erik.
Question number 20.
Okay. What is formal government to government consultation? Please provide an example.
They cut the eye for the question. What is formal government to government consultation? We, as the Fish and Wildlife Commission, as an example, meet on many platforms, national and local, with county and state government agencies. And the thing that, as a matter of fact, I just went over this past week with the Pacific Fishery Management Council as a representative critic, but speaking on behalf of the 4 tribes and being able to convey the words, not only on behalf of the 4 tribes, but to have a voice for the Nez Perce and to say that at those levels and on that platform, to create not only the transparency and to convey the needs and the wishes of our people, but the voices of those relatives that can't speak for themselves. And salmon, we call ourselves salmon people, and to be able to have that consultation at the government level is where we need to raise those concerns. And at the highest levels, I was able to go back to Capitol Hill last year and speak on the 4 dams, which you've seen just recently in the paper with Representative Mike Simpson's proposal and about removing the Snake River dams. Well, I was back there in DC speaking on the wall, they called it, and doing that government to government consultation at the national level, looking for appropriations and funding to get this thing moving forward. So I appreciate the question and thanks for the answers.
Okay, thank you, Erik. And up next, question 1, C2, Sam Penney online. Okay. Question 1, C2, Tonia Garcia.
Tonia.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, I just got carried away with that.
Gotta come this way and then take a get your question. The question, oh, yeah, pick one of the questions. They're not what's on your paper, they're random.
Oh, okay. Let me see here.
No, so you gotta pick a feather, and then you answer the question on the back of the feather. It's random.
Oh, okay, I got this. Okay, what's your number? What's it?
So you have to answer number 14.
37 and feather 37, question 14.
So you need to answer this question, number 14.
14, okay. Let me see what I did on that. All right.
37.
14. Question 14.
14.
Okay, what lobbying experiences do you have, and please explain?
I have had lobbying experience since I was in law school. And what we were doing was preparing all the statistics and all of the information we could get from the various boarding schools and whatnot. And then I also worked on but it was a federal government program, but we couldn't really lobby, but we could tell them what we were doing by inviting them over to see the results of what it was. And what the program was is and it was a national program, but underfunded it was for parents with children that had, or a guardian that had a child with fetal alcohol syndrome okay. And then for the tribe, on NPTEC before we made trips to Washington, D.C. to lobby with various congressmen and in NPTEC, we also did the same thing, lobbying for our fisheries programs and energy. But I'm glad you brought this up because,
Okay, thank you, Tonia. Okay, then we'll go question 1, seat 3.
So we have feather 18, question 44. Excuse me, 37.
Okay. What is an indirect rate? Do you believe the financial audits are telling the truth of the financial stability of the Nez Tribe? And please explain.
No. It's 18.
You understand that? Good to go.
Hello. Thank you for the question. Do I believe that the financial audits are telling the truth of the financial stability of the Nez Tribe and all its affiliates? Personally, I would hope that they are. Everyone has a position to work for our tribe, and we want to believe and hope that they're doing it to the best of their ability. However, coming out of my recent position as a gaming regulatory, we were always taught to trust but verify. So with that, I believe that there could be some more tightening. I believe there could be some more clear transparency so that we wouldn't have to ask this question. I know since working for the operations from the NPTEC casino for about 10, 12 years, what on the financial audits and what's actual on the financial audits are verified by our auditors. So sometimes it's just how you read those financial audits. If you have a lot of history and you're into accounting, then it can make more sense to you than the average employee. However, again, because this question has been asked, I would just say that just trust and verify is all I would like to end with that, and believe in our people. Hello.
Okay, up next on C3, question 1, Sheldon Allen.
Feather 63, question 48.
Okay. What have you done for your tribe and what makes you a leader? What have you done for your tribe and what makes you a leader?
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Question 48, what have I done for the tribe? The primary thing I've done for the tribe, I feel, is the education, post-education after high school, and pursuing those wants, needs, and demands of the tribe, and helping the younger generations achieve and acquire education necessary for them to be successful. Now, having said that, an education doesn't necessarily make you successful. What that education does is it provides an option for the younger people, and as well as the middle-aged people, the non-traditional tribal students, to, again, provide options to give them choices, whether it's going to be in the banking industry or if it's in the arts, architecture, construction, things of that nature. Something that would give them an interest. Having said that, the leadership aspects that when I was a student at Lewis and Clark State College, a number of those aspects that came into play was guiding the students to do, making them aware of what is required of them. So as a leader in that regard, showing them the path, the traditional path, as it were, or in this instance, a non-traditional path. Again, making them aware of options that can be had. Again, thank you for the opportunity. Sheldon Allen, seat number 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheldon. Okay, up next on seat 3, question 1, James Spencer. You pick a number between 1 and 70. 1 second.
There we go. 25.
Okay, give us just a moment to grab that number.
Feather 25, question 33.
Okay. Okay, what does the acronym GRAP stand for, and what is the purpose? Okay. What does the acronym GRAP stand for, and what is the purpose?
GRAP is a related adapter protein. Let's see. Get my acronyms here. Let's see. The function is it couples signals from receptors, and it plays a role in the inner ear hearing, if that's the acronym that you're speaking of. Wait.
Are you done answering, sir? on that acronym, GRAP is Gaming Revenue Allocation Plan. Okay, thank you, Mr. Spencer. Moving on to question 1, seat 3, Chantel Greene.
At the end of her speech, she said she wasn't going to ask for anybody's votes. Did you guys hear that?
Okay, so moving on. Okay, that ends our first round of questions. We'll move into question number 2 here shortly. But anyway, I like the answers and the questions that the people have sent in. And I think we had some really good answers. And anyway, we'll move on to question 2 round with seat 1, Ryan Oatman.
Feather 64, question 52.
Okay.
Okay, I'll read this real quickly. Do you know the treaty and is it supreme law of the land? Do you know the treaty and is it supreme law of the land?
I do know the treaty, and I do believe that it is the supreme law of the land, and I believe that the treaty was negotiated by our chiefs in the past with the United States government. And the government, you know, is pretty much the ones that wrote it up, you know, because they understood English and could read English. So if anyone tries to fight it, that's non-tribal, they'd be blaming their own government because they're the ones that, you know, wrote up the treaties. But the treaties do allow us to hunt and fish and gather at usual and custom places. That's why our tribal members are able to go over to Montana, to Gardner, and get buffalo. I go every year down to South Fork with my family to fish. You know, that's just kind of our family gathering every summer, every July. So I do believe that our treaties are the supreme law of the land, and that has helped us win a lot of court battles in regards to, you know, everything that's entitled in our treaty rights. So with that, I'll say Garcia, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Okay, up next on question 2, seat 1, Mary Jane Miles.
Feather 58, question number 23.
Okay. Is a compromise a weakness in your eyes? Describe a situation of compromise in which people accept something slightly different from what they really want because of the circumstances, because they are considering the wishes of the other people.
Thank you. I think that compromise is a must. Creates people making different, producing different opinions on one title. I think that when we all get together and express our opinions, then we can sway each other for the betterment of the people. I always think of what happened in the national government with the monies that are forthcoming to the people of the United States, the citizens. There was compromise in that, and it finally came through. Sometimes I think we're not going to move at the table, but once we listen and hear everyone out, then we can change our ideas a little for the good of the people. We always have to remember that we are working for the people, and as we don't move in our opinion, we are stunting the project moving forward. So I like that question because it reminds me that we're not always right, that we can hear it out at least get something going that is good for our people. So I thank you for the question. It kind of goes with the first question I had with the Kuyets being a team. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary Jane. Okay, up next. Question 2, seat 2, Ferris Paisano.
So it's feather 13, question 15.
Okay, what is the maximum budget amount you budgeted in prior jobs you may have had? If yes, what is the total budget amount and what tools or resources did you use to accomplish the task of creating a budget?
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. 1972, I borrowed $70,000 from Farm Home Administration to buy cattle equipment to start a farming operation, ranching operation. And I used an accountant. I got to be honest. Accountant helped me. And after that, purchased a gas station on, which is now Valley Gas. And again, had to budget, pay bills, and again, I used accounting. So if I don't know, I ask for help. And that's my answer to your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ferris. Okay, question 2, seat 2, Louis Harris.
So it's feather number 7, question number 64.
Okay, do you feel there is favoritism, nepotism within the tribal government? If so, how would you address this issue?
What a wonderful question. It's like fits, I guess, a lot of what I stand for and what I want to work on to make our tribe stronger and work together more. I feel there is favoritism, nepotism. Favoritism is in there twice for some reason, but I believe that it is in there. What I would do to address it, I can't say I could address it alone. It is something that we all have to do together. You know, it would take a group of us to work together and come up with ideas, solutions, maybe change a few policies, procedures, change some constitutional things, which will require a lot of our tribe coming together to make those changes. And so that is something that I really believe that if we come together as a tribe, we can make those changes to get rid of the nepotism and favoritism. And that's you know, because it really impacts a lot of families really hard. It had an impact on my family. It impacted. I'm speaking selfish here too, and I'm saying that it impacts a lot of families. And that's somewhere where, you know, we could really fix that. And if we could fix that, you know, come together, let's do this together as a team, as a tribe. We the people. Let's be the people. Let's make that change. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harris. Okay, up next, C2, question 2, Sherry Greene. Number between 1 and 70, please. 1 and
Number 3.
Feather 23, question 26.
What was that again? Okay. If elected, on what subcommittees will you serve, and are you willing to serve in a formal officer's position such as chairman, vice chairman, etc.? On what subcommittee will you serve? Are you willing to serve in formal positions such as chairman, vice chairman, etc.?
I believe for most of the NPTEC members, they serve on all the subcommittees. And as far as the chairman, it's actually the chairman and vice chairman. Those are also nominations from the floor for the subcommittees that you sit on. I am interested in the efficient wildlife and natural resources and energy. I do have a certificate in renewable energy technology. I think that would benefit that committee as well. I believe that my background in fisheries and actually fishing on the Columbia gives me a good background for serving on that committee as well. I am interested in health. I do believe that some of the reoccurring things that we're going to see in the next couple of years, especially for our health, our Nimipu Health Services, will be affected not only as we move forward and we change in the direction of what it is to be safe and what it is overall for health for all the people, you know, not only young but old, and looking into maybe a wellness center for some of those that are interested in that area to provide different services for people so they can look out for their health. And I would be able to serve in various capacities, whether it be just as a member of a subcommittee or as a chairman or vice chairman, should I be selected to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Question 2, seat 2, Mary Talbot.
Question number 12.
Yes, sir. Okay, question 12. Do you think a clean criminal background is an important requirement for elected officials? Why or why not? Do you think a clean criminal background is an important requirement for elected officials? Why or why not?
I believe that back in the days when our people selected a leader for the tribe, they had like sub-chiefs, and they usually picked the person who either was inherited that position from his forefathers, and it depended on what they had accomplished in their lifetime and what they have done for their people and their behavior. And I think that's a very good thing, the way our people used to do it in the old days. I believe that we should have a pretty good background. Some of them are really serious, and some, for instance, like maybe if somebody had a DUI, like if I had one from 15 years ago, I'm a different person now, and we need to give people a chance. I think our elders would probably frown on that, but I think that depending on what the circumstances are in the background, we really need to check that out, because like I said, people can change and change their life and turn to better things. But that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, moving on to question 2, seat 2, Erik Holt. Okay, here we go. The Constitution doesn't require an insurable record, but the Nez Perce Tribe Vehicle Use and Maintenance Manual does require an insurable record for liability purpose and approved by NPTEC actions. Have you reviewed the policy and knowing that tribal convictions do not impact your state-issued driver's license record? In the last years, have you received more than 4 minor traffic convictions, both state, county, and tribal, to make you uninsurable for the Nez Perce Tribal approved policy? What is your opinion of the insurance driving record policy?
Katia for the question. And first and foremost, the Constitution, I think that's one of the things that the Nez Perce tribe needs to really analyze and dissect once again, to not only take out some of the clouded areas that have been outdated, if you will, but to marry them up with all the other approved NPTEC actions at that table that would come under purview. As we speak about driver's license, in particular, the insurance, I believe that we need to revisit this. It's something that I believe Public Law 280, as you know, I've been a strong advocate for trying to get out of Public Law 280 for many years, and the tribe's hopefully moving in that direction. But with the driver's license, I believe that people that get a DUI need to be held accountable at all levels, and that needs to be transferable to, so that we don't put ourselves in a liability issue with somebody that's uninsurable, because that could impact many people on a lot of roads. I know I have not, I've had no convictions of any traffic violations in the last 4 years. Actually, matter of fact, in the last 10 plus years. And I just had to go through our CritFIC driving policy, so I had to send my actual driver's license to them to get reinsured through CritFIC, and also the tribe, I filled out a form for it being insurable, so I'm good there. My opinion of the insurance driving record policy, I believe should also be looked at so that we make people accountable all across the board. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Eric. And Sam still have an issue with online. Okay. Okay, up next, question 2, seat 2, Tonia Garcia.
Mr. Wheeler, it's feather 46, question 47.
Okay, what are 3 actions you have accomplished that benefits the tribal members? What are 3 actions you have accomplished that benefit tribal members?
Thank you, Alan. Well, after I finished law school, I was a Reginald Smith Heber Smith Fellowship, and they had an Indian law unit at that time, which I was the manager of. And during that time, we litigated the issue of having sweat houses for natives in prison, and we were successful at that. And for the tribal membership up here, there was a case that was kind of lingering on the taxation and the taking of land for taxes from Nez Perce County, even though they knew it was in trust. So that case was appealed to the 9th Circuit. I made that argument, and they had, we were successful. Since the Nez Perce has been really observant of our property rights there for non-taxation, so they don't tax people that even live in Lewiston if you're a Nez Perce tribal member. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, moving on. Question 2, seat 3, Shirley Allman.
Mr. Wheeler, it's feather 27, question number 34.
Okay, question 34. What does the acronym SERBA stand for, and what is the purpose? Again, what does the acronym SERBA stand for, and what is the purpose?
Thank you for that. What does the acronym SERBA stand for, and what is the purpose? Snake River Basin Adjudication. I believe that's a very controversial settlement that was acted upon, I'm not sure how many years ago, but what it's the positives of it is we have a big opportunities for anything to do with our water. I know we have an SRBA program that helps elders or anything that has to do with water. If people need help with sewer or water, water pumps or whatever you want to call it, wells, water wells is the word I was thinking about. But anyways, it's very controversial because some people think or feel that we sold some very important rights to get this. But at the same time, the positive is that it is helping our people in a lot of different ways. I know their funds are being, sometimes they're being loaned upon for programs to be built, startup programs to be built. So we do have opportunities that it is bringing to the tribe, and it helps our elders. I know it's helped a lot of different people, you know, with getting water wells, getting sewers, getting things that wouldn't be possible without this. So again, that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. Okay, question 2, seat 3, Sheldon Allen.
Mr. Wheeler, it's feather 43, question number 60.
Okay, what are your weaknesses as a leader? What are your weaknesses as a leader?
Thank you, sir. What is my weaknesses as a leader? One of the key, I guess a component to that would be compassion. I'm more apt to believe a person or a group of individuals who are pursuing a much needed service on the reservation, or an individual pursuing education. In that regard, if I'm thrust into of a leader, I'm more compassionate in that regard, in their positions, in their strife, in that regard, to try to minimize the headaches and hurdles that one incurs in their efforts to improve a given situation. So if that's one indication of a leader, then yes, I fall prey to that particular issue. Being too compassionate can be falling of sorts, but I believe it also ties in with the individuals that are trying to do a thing on the reservation. And weakness. The other side of that is I can be very cynical to some degree, where I would require a bit more data, a bit more information in that regard. I'm not apt to jump initially, but I would require a bit more data to support a claim, their claim, to that effect. And hopefully in that process, we can eliminate certain issues that's been there for some time, and then eliminate that. Again, thank you, Sheldon Allen, C2.
Okay, thank you, Sheldon. Okay, seat 3, question 2, James Spencer. Okay, James, pick a number between 1 and 70.
32.
Question 43.
Okay, question 43. What percent of the Nez Perce tribe is operated by grants and contracts? Again, what percent of the Nez Perce tribe is operated by grants and contracts. Okay, you have a minute and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize for the hiccup from the last question. I believe a fair percentage, close to 100% almost of the programs are operated on either grants or contracts. It's kind of hard to get away from that. Many of the programs rely on those grants and contracts. You know, the Nimipu Health and law enforcement, you know, they're under 638 contract, and federal partnerships with salmon recovery and habitat restorations are key to reaching the goals of the Nez Perce tribe. And they're a very valuable partner in reaching our goals for habitat restoration, salmon recovery, and you name it. Thank you.
Mr. Spencer, okay. That rounds up the question 2 part of the session. We're gonna move on to question 3, but we'll continue with question 3, Ryan Oatman.
Yes, Eagle Feather 44, and his question is 37.
Somebody took my sheet. Okay, what is an indirect rate and what is the purpose? What is an indirect rate and what is the purpose?
So IDC rates is something that the tribe uses, like for grants. I was on a grant for the iVision program, and I believe when we started, it was like at 26.56 or something like that. And by the last year of my grant, it went up to 28.65. I don't really like IDC rates. I'm not sure. I don't fully understand where the money's going. I know with our grant, it was like over 100,000 in IDC rates, so which took away from like our youth and young adult services. I thought that money would have been better served with our participants. So, so in place of that, me and my staff, we would write like our own little grants to kind of help fund some of our summer activities. We wrote for the Potlatch Fund and received it the last 2 years. So that kind of made up for money that we didn't have. So with that, I fully don't understand what IDC rates are. I would hope that leadership, and if I'm on leadership, that we can provide more info on where all that money goes and how it's spent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Up next, question 3, seat 1, Mary Jane Miles.
Mr. Wheeler, Feather 16, number 50.
Okay, where do you see our tribe going in the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you see our tribe going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Thank you. I'm pretty amazed at the table that offers some 9 spots with people coming from different education levels and different interests. There have been a lot of Nez Perce, Nimipu that have been put on high boards in Crickfic and other places. It feels like the Nez Perce tribe is the leader in many of the things that happen in the national level. As the Nimipu goes, so goes other tribes, and they look to us for leadership. I'm really proud of the natural resources I think that education should be talked about going like to the University of Idaho, which offers a good forestry. And then the fisheries have a good place to go as well and get our own people into those two big departments. The veterans, I think we are embarrassed nationally for the way we treat our veterans, and I think our veterans need more monies to do the things that we honor them for. This is the reason that we have this government, is because of the veterans. And naturally, the elders, they have a lot of services that they need, hospice, dialysis, nursing home, in-home services. And I think our tribe is heading in the right direction. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to bump back up question 2, Sam Penney. If you can pick a number between 1 and 70.
Hopefully you can hear me. I'll take number 7.
That one's been taken.
Okay, 5.
Number 5.
Question number 21.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
What are 5 short-term goals you see as easy fixes for the Nez Perce tribe? Again, what are 5 short-term goals you see as easy fixes for the Nez Perce tribe?
Well, thank you for the question, and I apologize for my technical difficulties here. Well, just looking at, what's going on today, I think the top things that are going on nationally would be the federal budget. Of course, we're just ending the CARES Act, and now we have the new act that just came out, and we have to figure out. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, something came up on my screen. I'm sorry. It's something completely different. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, if you can.
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. So, as I started to say, I think of course, the federal budget process and under the latest act that just passed Congress, there's a lot of funds that are available to tribes, and we need to make sure that the funding formulas are equitable, that the Nez Perce tribe does get their share of the, I think, $19 billion that's going to be available. And then I think climate change has been on the forefront for a number of years, and it's kind of coming to the forefront again right now. So that's important. I think housing, with the latest issue regarding COVID, I think that housing is.
Sam. Okay, now we're seat, question 3, seat 2, Ferris Paisano.
Eagle feather number 1, question number 26.
Okay. Have you been let go from a previous job? And if so, why? If not, do you think being let go from a previous position should make you an individual ineligible to run for NPTEC? Have you been let go from a previous job? And if so, why? If not, do you think being let go from a previous position should make you an individual ineligible to run for NPTEC?
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. The answer is no. Should this make a person ineligible for NPTEC? I would say no, unless it's so grievous that they had to go to prison or something. But I think everybody deserves a chance to serve their people. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ferris. Okay, moving on to question 3C2, Louis Harris.
Feather 55, question 55.
Right here. Okay, what is one thing that you could help repair when it comes to relationships with local governments? What is one thing that you could help repair? You could help repair when it comes to relationships with local governments.
Thank you for that question. I believe that we should have a strong relationship with our local governments, and we are currently doing that with our Clearwater River Casino, our Nesper Travel Enterprises. Everything that we're doing, I think we do a whole lot more though. We could, combine forces with the what's the rodeo called? I don't remember what the rodeo's called, but I believe it's involved with Chief Joseph Foundation. So that is something that I believe we should unite with. That would really improve our relationships with local governments. I know our current one isn't all that great, because we got a lot of tribal members that end up in jail, so maybe we want to come to terms with their jails, with their courts, the whole judicial system, even politics. I mean, I think that we should elect our sheriff or our chief of police. I think that is something that we should be. I think we should elect our chief or our chairman for National Travel Executive Committee. So I think a lot of things to repair relationships with local governments is to reach out more, to be more proactive, and and that's about all I can say. Because
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harris. Up next, question 3C2, Sherry Greene. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 70, Sherry. 1 and 70.
Uh, 49.
That number is taken.
Number 49.
Sorry, Sherry, that number was available. One moment. We'll get you the question.
Okay, what is your position of legalizing marijuana? Please explain. What is your position on legalizing marijuana? Please explain.
So I understand that it can really benefit the tribe as far as if we were to legalize it in the state of Idaho. I don't see that happening anytime soon just because we're a red state. But if we were going to go into that direction, I know there's a lot of concerns with how it's going to affect funding, because if it's not on a federal level and it's just by state, then that would definitely directly affect our funding. So there are some pros and cons whether we were to legalize it and grow it and then turn it into a business for the tribe. In some of the states where it is legal, and I actually have a nephew who is in Oregon and actually is thriving really well as far as his business is going, and he's been very successful in doing that. I do understand the medicinal purposes as far as using it for medication. Having watched a sister go through cancer and looking at the alternatives for medication for pain relief, that may have been a better alternative because of the pain relief medication that she was on. It was not a very good situation. So, there are definitely pros and cons. I would definitely bring it to the general membership because I think it's an important issue for all to speak on. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, up next, question 3, seat 2, Mary Talbot.
Mr. Wheeler, it's question number 22.
Okay. Explain strategic planning efforts you have successfully accomplished. Explain strategic planning efforts you have successfully accomplished.
I've been employed by the Nez Perce tribe for about 30 plus years, and I know that many times as an employee of the Nez Perce tribe, we've always been asked to be a part of the strategic planning for the Nez Perce tribe, and we've changed it a few times. And I'm sorry to say, but we have not followed the strategic plan. We, in our workplaces, perhaps we have come up with some really plans for the Nez Perce tribe. When we put everything together, we think this is something that's doable, something that's going to work with the tribe. And unfortunately, it has not been enforced by the tribal leaders nor tribal programs. So, and I can again say this, I know this for a fact, that we've come up with strategic plans over and over again, and we do not follow them. And that's just the way it is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, up next, question 3, seat 2, Erik Holt.
Mr. Wheeler, we're at question 16 today.
16. Okay. Create a quick persuasive advertisement to encourage meaningful health patients to get the coronavirus vaccine. Okay.
Garcia for the question. Create a quick, pervasive advertisement to encourage meaningful health patients to get their coronavirus vaccine. I'm a survivor of COVID-19. I strongly encourage all Nez Perce people to do this for your elders, for your children, for the future of our people. We've lost many members to this disease, this virus, and I ask that you continue to practice safe social distancing, do the mitigating factors that you need to keep your family safe. But I strongly urge and encourage all tribal members to please get the coronavirus vaccine. I'm a recipient. I did it for my parents. They contracted the disease. It's scary. We've lost many tribal members, so I please encourage all tribal members to please get the coronavirus vaccine.
Okay, thank you, Erik. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Come back to Sam in a bit. Okay, question 3, seat 2, Tonia Garcia.
Mr. Wheeler, question number 2.
Go down.
Okay. Okay, do you have the integrity to tell a tribal member no or be in opposition of a popular decision? If so, please provide a most recent example of your opposition to a political position. Again, do you have the integrity to tell a tribal member no or be in opposition to a popular decision? If so, please provide the most recent examples of your opposition to a political position.
I believe that when you run for NPTEC, you're running for all people. But you're in a decision making role, and you have to look ahead and see whether or not your decisions make you stand for the tribe and benefit for the tribe in the years to come. So when there's a political issue that's very popular, but it doesn't, when you look at the figures or the statistics and the rate of failure for that position or how it will impact the tribe in the long run, I think you do have to have the integrity to tell them, no, I don't believe that. But if there's a way to compromise, that would be, I think that to sit down and discuss it and explain why you don't have the same position they do. And I was trying to think, there's so many examples of not having the, what I could say was my example was the longhouse. When it was first considered, people objected to the site where it was, and I think that fund later got diminished, and our longhouse is a lot smaller than it was originally planned.
Okay, Sam, ready again? Okay, Sam, here we go. Pick a number between 1 and 70.
5. Number 5.
That one's taken.
3.
Taken.
Number 1.
Taken.
Good. Go ahead, just choose me then.
What's his favorite number?
Right. Question number 66.
66.
Okay, question number 67. Work for Nez tribe and or tribal affiliates and or staff. Explain on success or challenges while serving in the supervisory capacity.
Okay, so I've never worked for any other tribal affiliates. The affiliates being the Nimipu Health, the housing, gaming. I've not worked for any of those in a supervisory position. I guess as supervisory successes and challenges serving on my supervisory capacity, I have supervised people in the past when I served on NPTEC previously, in many different issues as far as legal issues, gaming issues, and also local issues, especially during the years when the North Central Idaho Jurisdictional Alliance was very active. We worked as a team together to protect the tribal interests during that time. But as far as working for other tribal affiliates, I've always worked for the Nez tribe. I currently work for the Students for Success program for the last couple of years, working with youth. And we have a great team there within the Students for Success program. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to question 3, seat 3, Shirley Allman.
Question number 8.
Okay, question number 8. In 3 words, what are your top 3 platform statement goals? And explain why.
In 3 words, what are your top 3 platform statement goals and explain why? That is hard to do in 3 words because I can look at it one way and say integrity, honest, and ethics. But platform statements would be bring in jobs,
helping our elders in our senior citizen program. I think they need a lot of help. They need to have more funding so they don't have to feel the pressure the rest of the departments do. And also bring education to the forefront. We have a lot of educated people out there, tribal members, that are hard to find a place within our organization. And I think we need to really look into that, because outside getting your education, the professors always look at you're setting goals and you're, as an individual, achieving them. So when people put themselves in that position, I believe that we need to, as a tribe, welcome them back into our organization as a whole, so that we can continue to grow into today's society, because it's forever changing. Look at us here, we're doing a voucher candidate forum. So I believe that would be my 3 platforms, would be bringing jobs that people would be encouraged to apply, not be held back from. Sometimes we put obstacles up that we don't need to. So again, vote for me on seat 3. Thank you.
Okay, question 3, seat 3, Sheldon Allen.
Mr. Wheeler, question number 61.
Okay. Fraternization in the workplace occurs when 2 people employed by the same company interact socially outside of work and at the employer functions. How do you address this? Ready?
Good afternoon. Fraternization amongst the employees in a given workplace, that is always going to occur. I would encourage the employees, my workers, to work with each other on a professional level and then on a social level. I believe that would add to the continuity and fluidness and the flow of a given workplace or program. Having said that, I would also trust that these individuals in question would have enough professionalism to conduct themselves accordingly. If they're going to visit outside the office and talk about football, baseball, whatever that topic may be, if the subject matter of the program is of a sensitive nature, then I would trust them to be professional enough to hold back any type of confidential information or sensitive information pertaining to a given project and or program. Again, having said that, I would like the employees to get along with each other, to socialize with each other, families, kids, along those lines. So should a fraternization be there? Yes, I encourage it by all means, but be mindful and be professional. Sheldon Allen, seat 3. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Sheldon. Up next, question 3, seat 3, James Spencer. Pick a number.
48.
Okay, here we go. Create a quick, positive 30-second introduction of who the Nimipu are, and explain why you choose these words to use it in the introduction.
Nimipu, the people. We've had a long history, proven 16,000-year history with this land, so we are a part of it. We've been stewards of this land for a proven 16,000 years, even though our history goes even further back than that. The reason that I choose this is because we have been the stewards for that land and for the resources here. And we're poised to continue to be stewards of the land. As we were told by our elders, we do not own the land, we we are borrowing it from future generations, and we have to make sure that we take care of it so that we can pass it on to those future generations. That is our charge, and we stand at the forefront of providing safe, clean water and lands and resources for those future generations, as our ancestors did for us back in 1855, so we must also do to provide for those 7 generations to come. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Spencer. Anyway, that finishes up our 3rd round of questions. There's some good questions there. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody that sent the questions in for the candidates to answer, and I thank the candidates for answering the questions at the best they could. Okay, now at this time we'll have our closing comments, and you will be given a minute to finish up whatever continues with your opening comments. Now we'll go to the closing comments. So we start with seat 1, Brian Oatman.
Okay, in closing, I would just ask my Nimipu people for their vote for seat 1. I am ready to lead. I've worked for my tribe for 21 years. I've learned a lot over the years from the different departments I've worked in. I'm currently on the Enterprise Board. I sit on the NARCH committee for the Healing Lodge, and also help out different committees like Lapway Days, and I do our team nights. I have a heart for my people. I, show up to work every day. Whatever job I do, I try to do it well. And, if I have questions, I try to get those questions answered. And, I've had years and years of networking and working with, other departments and agencies off the reservation, to get good services going for the Nimipu Nation. And again, I would just ask for your support for seat 1, NPTEC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Okay, seat 1, question or closing comments, Mary Jane Miles.
Alan, I want to thank your family, Kay, for doing this for us and providing the form as you do in all the years that I've known. And I thank this IT stuff too that you do with streaming, and I thank Marsan for helping me out in the tribal office too when I get stumped on something. I must confess that I'm illiterate in computers and phones, but the support staff is right there to help me and get me out of trouble or get me into trouble with stuff like this. And even the cultural language program comes to help me when I need to talk to Kilkatimki, because I never did in my house. It was just listening. So I just think that that's their paradox of the young helping the elders. And it's really been fascinating for me to be on NPTEC and realize that they are stewards of the land. When I listen to them talk, the fishermen, the hunters, they're always concerned about taking care of the land in the river. So I've been fortunate to sit on your board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary Jane. Next up for closing, we got seat 2, Ferris Paisano.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Well, what I'd like to say to all the people listening and the ones that will hear this in the future, just vote. There's a lot of people here that are worthy. In fact, all of them are worthy, not a lot, but all. So just vote. And remember, for me, all the families and leaders of the past, we're riding on your shoulders. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful spring forward.
Okay, thank you, Ferris. Up next on seat 2, Louis Harris.
So, that's it. I would like to say thank you for everybody who brought us here together to have this. I would like to thank everybody that's here. I would like to thank everybody that's tuned in and every tribal member. You know, just like it's been said, get out there and vote. I would like to thank my family, especially my close family, like my immediate family. They've stuck to my side throughout this whole time. I put nothing but stress and harm on them. And I want to see our tribe get stronger. I really do. I want to utilize SRBA funding. I want to use I want to change the way our grant funding is being used. I would like to do all that. So please get out there, vote Harris, seat 2. Have a great 2021. I thank you.
Okay, up next for closing comments, seat 2, Sherry Greene.
Hello. Hi, this is Sherry Greene. I just want to thank the committee for allowing us to participate in this forum. But I'd really like your support in seat 2, Sherry R. Greene. I know that it's been a very difficult time this past year. We've lost loved ones, but we need to move forward and we need to be able to think about things that are coming down the road, whether it's water resource, whether it's climate change, whether it's funding, lack of resource for funding. We need to look at our infrastructure. We need to look at all the funding that we have and figure out how to best move forward and change what we have to improve the systems and services for all the people. You know, we need to really look at how we're going to move forward with our youth and excel them to be ready and prepared for the future. So thank you for your time. Seat 2, Sherry Greene.
Thank you, Sherry. And up next, seat 2, Mary Tallbull.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to see more transparency within the tribal government. I'd like to see programs that are providing a better service to our people. I hear a lot about helping the elders, and I think that a lot of it's left out. We need more funding. I think that we need to get treatment facilities, or we need to have something for people who go to treatment facilities to come home to. And another thing, I believe in passage of the cannabis that passed in General Council, I think 3 years ago, and it is something worth looking into. And I think the tribe can not only help our people financially, but in other ways. I believe in tribal preference. There's a resolution that passed unanimously in 1986 regarding tribal preference, and to this date, we do not recognize that. In addition to that, Nez Perce tribe is Wave Peril, and that does again say tribal preference, and we need to start hiring our people and putting them in leadership and management positions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Up next, closing seat 2, Erik Holt.
Garcia, I humbly ask for your support as I seek NPTEC seat number 2. I bring many years of leadership with me, and I come from a long line of elected leaders. My elders have provided me a legacy as strong advocates for the people, for our way of life, and our Mother Earth. My parents raised me to have a strong, sacred relationship with Creator and to take my place in the circle, and I strive to do that now. I bring to the table a strong work ethic, knowledge of tribal public policy, a strong understanding of the laws and regulations that govern our relationship with other agencies. I'm a proactive tribal member because of the legacy I was given, my love for our people, my concern for our homeland, and my belief in our future. So I humbly ask for your support in NPTEC seat number 2, Garcia.
Okay, thank you, Erik. Up next, closing seat 2, is Sam there, Sam Penney. Okay, Sam?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, my apologies for my technical difficulties, but I think what it shows is that, many tribal members, lack access to adequate internet services. And I think that's one of the things that we need to definitely work on. In my current position, Student for Success, we work with suicide and mental health. And we also try to teach the youth about alcohol and marijuana use as well as binge drinking. And, that's very important for our youth. But what I'd like to see is to make sure that, that we as NPTEC, whoever's elected NPTEC, that they work as a team, that they read and study all our briefing papers. Those that know me know that I do that, and I also do my own research. But I think the three words that I would end with is serving on NPTEC. I would like to see transparency, accountability, and compassion. Kachiaya. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, up next, closing comments, seat 2, Tonia Garcia.
Hello. My name is Tonia Garcia, and I have been on NPTEC like 2 times before. I have a bachelor's degree in social work. I have a Juris Doctorate. I was admitted to the Idaho State Bar, also the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And during that time, Oliphant came out, and so all the tribes were staying out of litigation because the tide turned to very, very conservative and against the tribes. And I would like to say that, one, we have financial audits, but those audits are from information the organizations give them. I think the tribe should schedule a forensic audit. And thank you, my time's up. So I really appreciate your vote.
Okay, thank you, Tonia. Okay, closing seat 3, Shirley Allman.
Tatsala. Inam Inhuma, I come to you this afternoon. My Indian name is Tamakiutmai. I come from Clear Creek, Idaho. I'm from Kumnaka. I ask for your vote for seat 3 for the Nez Perce Tribal Executive Committee. I hope to bring you a new voice to the table. I've had over 10 years working with the General Counsel, knowing how they feel, knowing their frustrations, knowing where their heart is. I also have a bachelor's degree from Lewis Park State College. I have a master's degree from Gonzaga. I'm here to work for my Nez Perce people as humbly as I can. I just ask for your support for me on seat 3.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. Okay, next closing, seat 3, Sheldon Allen.
Thank you. My name is Sheldon Allen. I am running for seat number 3 for NPTEC. The idea of running for NPTEC and the idea of being here is very difficult. So I applaud the candidates for seats 1, 2, and 3. It is not an easy thing to do, to step up here and voice one's opinion and hope to be elected to these august positions within the Nez Perce Nation. So having said that, the 3 primary ideas that I am running on is Indian Health Services, choices and options would be nice, away from the COVID vaccine, providing options that are not so evasive, and with the vaccine being too many question marks, I feel. Vet services, I believe there could be an improvement there within the services and providing ample avenues with the veterans. And the elders, I wish the elders program, much more larger issues are to be taken care of. Thank you. Sheldon Allen, seat 3.
Okay, thank you, Sheldon. Up next, seat 3, James Spencer.
Yes, thank you. I didn't take this decision lightly, and having been asked by members, elders, to run, I've been in organizations and through manufacture, my past experiences. I've also worked in the hospitality industry for over 25 years and providing educational entertainment in the tourism industry. And I think that what I would like to see in our government is ethics and transparency and open lines of communication. We're poised to be at the forefront of climate change through regenerative agriculture practices and helping to ensure the future of salmon fishery for the generations to come. Ask for your support for seat 3. Thank you.
Okay, that rounds out this afternoon's forum. Once again, I'd like to thank for the candidates for the closing comments and answering the questions, and the members that set the questions in, and the ones that set this up, the native vote. Anyway, I guess that's good for today. Thank you. And hey, remember to go out and vote in the primary elections. It will make a difference, and it makes a difference for everybody. Once again, thank you.